We'll call the meeting to order. Shannon is up first.
So there's an active cluster in one of our nursing homes, and we got 9 more positives out of it yesterday. So we're working with them to get the testing done. They have the antigen test in-house that they run. After they get a positive with that, it has to be a PCR done to confirm it. So we've been helping with taking the tests that they do over to the hospital so that they can send those out to their lab. I emailed the person that had sent the data from the wastewater study, and he sent me an email back, and I printed it out and had time to print one copy of it off before I came in. He said, the wastewater results suggest there's community spread in Stafford, but how much is unknown. As of yesterday, there were 184 positives in the county, which is a big jump since we put out the report at the beginning of the month. The wastewater results also set a baseline for us to compare to when we do subsequent sampling, like after the Christmas holidays. I treat this as corroborating evidence of your suspicions of community spread and continue to promote testing as well as safe practices. Stafford's results are comparable to what we saw in Larned and in Great Bend, less than what we've seen in Lyons, but more than what we've picked up in Pratt, Kinsley, Kingman, and Greensburg. Of all the 93 facilities we've tested, Stafford was the 11th highest in concentration and in the top 1/3 in terms of viral load in wastewater, even though the wastewater volume in Stafford is pretty low. Talk amongst yourselves to see what questions you'd like answered when we do a subsequent sampling after the holidays. That would help us plan our next moves. So basically what he's saying is we've got broader community spread than what we think that we've got. And I'm wondering if it's either asymptomatic people or if it's people that don't want to get tested because they don't want to quarantine.
There's some of that. Where do they test that at?
That is a good question. I don't know if it's at the facility that does.
Where's the state lab?
No.
Where they're collecting the sampling.
In the lagoons.
That's what I would assume too, but.
Is it concentrated like where it comes in, or the line going out there, or?
I know they've got in this paper that I printed out for everybody on Monday, they're following this FDA guide for how to do the sampling. So I know it's in there because I started to read through it. So it says how they take the samples and all of that. And it's on that second page. And it's the FDA link.
How did they pick Stafford in the first place versus St. John?
I don't know that either. I didn't even know that they were doing this until I got the email with the result. And the email that was sent to me had, I think, 12 other towns that had been sampled, and it was the second email sent out for the ones that had a high concentration. So there was a total of 24 towns that they flagged as high concentration and sent emails out with reports.
And that was from KDHE? So they are maybe sending people out to do that?
Yes, the person that I emailed was Thomas Stiles, and he's the director of the Bureau of Water. So he's...
Because they also do feedlots, any lagoon.
But the fact that they could check the coronavirus in there is pretty interesting.
They're doing,
That's
it's
actually,
like basically doing the PCR with the RNA extraction on the samples is what I was reading yesterday. So it's basically doing the same type of lab work on it that they do whenever they collect a specimen from a patient.
that's one of the things yesterday that I thought, I've read a lot of stuff, I've never heard that they could do that, but that actually makes sense. That you could go to the lagoon and check it out.
And I mean, one of the symptoms that people have is gastrointestinal trouble, so it makes sense that they're shedding virus in their stool.
Plus, it's gonna be there anyway, even if it's not giving you trouble.
Yeah,
I mean, it's gonna be there.
yeah.
Yeah, that actually made sense. There's a few encouraging things maybe that we can check. That's what I said the other day, I'm looking for, we already know what the problem is, let's find a solution to it. That was interesting.
So yesterday, whenever I did a count of our active cases, we were at 39. And that's what I posted. We had 2 new positives faxed to us this morning. And we still need to, we have a rotation of phone calls that we make for our active cases to check in with them so that we know how they're doing with their symptoms and know when to have them come off of their isolation and consider them recovered. So it always is revolving with people coming off of active cases and then getting new ones on top of it, so.
So we're at 41 now?
Yeah. Without knowing who's considered recovered and off of their isolation, yes.
Does that include the 9 at the nursing home?
Yeah. So really, it's
The 9.
the 9, well, there's more than 9 in the nursing home. But I can't remember how many staff and how many residents, because the staff would kind of count in the county count.
But that's a big part of the most recent ones is.
The most recent ones, the big jump was from yesterday, from the ones in the nursing home.
That's where we could only hope that we didn't get it in there.
And they're doing what they need to do to try to do as much containment as possible. They've sectioned off specific hallways and only have the ones that have tested positive in those hallways, and they're designating staff to take care of those ones and staff to take care of the ones that are negative. So they're following KDHE guidance too on that.
But when staff members go home, you can't control that.
They're really technically supposed to be doing what's called a modified quarantine, since they're going in there and taking care of those residents. I don't know how that's working out, but they're really supposed to be going as few places as possible. They should really just be going work and home, and if they have to go get groceries, they should be doing that as cautiously as possible.
Do they still test temperature every day for those staff people?
I believe so.
Would think
But I
they would.
mean, we've had a gigantic run of new positives that never have run a temperature.
They
So,
don't
I
know.
mean, that got drilled into us at the beginning, and it's not even one of the big symptoms anymore that we've been seeing.
What percent of the people that you talked to lost taste and smell?
A lot.
That might be number one.
And that's one that we can't really rely on for recovery, because it can be gone for so long.
Right. But I told you, I had some person that was complaining about their back hurting, and she says, then I can't taste and smell, and I just go,
Yeah.
and you wonder what
And
you
a lot
got.
of people that have tested positive recently have said, well, I just thought it was allergies, but whenever I realized I couldn't smell or taste anything is when I thought maybe I should go get tested.
Yeah, they're sticking pickles up their nose and they can't smell them. Yeah, you got it, man.
Yeah.
It just-
Now, if the staff of the nursing homes, they're checked weekly or twice a week or?
It depends on their positivity rate, so right now it's,
No, I meant the staff.
yeah, yes,
Okay.
it's weekly now. It was bi-weekly, but now that they've had more cases, it's weekly.
Well, I heard on the news this morning that up in Wisconsin, there's over 50 people per day dying from COVID in the state.
Mhm.
It's not good.
And right now, we've got 3 of ours hospitalized.
One out of state.
1 out of state. They couldn't find a bed in state, so they went out of state to get care.
Would you say that overall in visiting with the people that the severity of the symptoms are better, worse, the same?
It's
Since
all
a couple months
over
ago.
the board still. I mean, we have several that were very minor symptoms that were probably only gonna need the 10 days of isolation to be considered recovered, and then we've had somebody that's already gone over a week past the 10 days because they're so sick, and I mean, over the last couple of months, we've had people that started out okay and then got so bad that they went and got hospital care because they felt so horrible. So it's unique to each person, how they.
I've heard every symptom from people that you can imagine. I mean,
There's actually some new ones that we've heard over the last couple of weeks. I think 2 or 3 people have complained specifically of eye pain, not headaches, eye pain.
yes. I've
And
heard-
then, yesterday, one said that they got sores in their mouth that turned into blisters, and they have coworkers that had tested positive and had the same symptom. And then we've had several people complain of dizziness.
I heard the eye pain from the very first guy I talked to. He said that's all he really had was eye pain, maybe lower head. He just thought he'd been working too long. But he went and got tested and he was positive. He said, just like I'd been reading too long. Yeah, you hear everything. And sometimes those pains move around. Like the one that had it in her back, the next thing she had was in her chest. Then she had the headache. One would disappear and it'd go somewhere else. I said, well, there's no doubt what you got, but.
Have you heard anything about whenever they come out with the vaccines, as far as telling you guys to get ready for them, or is there any kind of organization already made, or is it just wait and see?
So I don't have a ton of information about that process yet, but Chris from the pharmacy reached out and said that he is preparing so that he can help distribute the vaccine too. And he did send me an email saying that they have the stuff for the super cold vaccine if that's what gets distributed here, which is really good because I don't know how or where I would put that if we had to get a super cold freezer for vaccine. So that's super encouraging to know that he's got things like that already going in place so that he can help with that.
And the newest one doesn't have to be super refrigerated.
It would be nice if we
Yeah,
could
too.
get the one that doesn't have to be super cooled
That'd be
because
nice.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I'm assuming if we get some vaccine that, I mean, will we kind of, the elderly will have first chance at it? I mean, not just first come, first go. I mean, I feel like our elderly population are people that have,
It would probably need to be like them in high risk, like
Yeah.
the people that are immunocompromised that have the worst go of it if they get sick. Would probably be the best route to do
The
it.
health workers.
I mean, is that something that they will kind of mandate, that this are the people that you should give it to, or is this something that we're gonna have to come out with
No,
guidelines?
it'll be CDC.
Yeah, it's
guidelines.
gonna be
Okay.
CDC guidelines.
I did notice yesterday that the Sedgwick County Commission had authorized the health department to buy one of the super freezers. I believe it was $17,000.
Yeah.
It's probably back ordered for 6 months.
And-
too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, and good luck finding one.
Yeah.
And
don't have
the
one
other thing
already,
is
or-
that if you don't have that, then dry ice, so. But I think we're several months away from that.
Yeah.
But the pharmacy out at White's has the capability.
The way
with
that Chris
freezer.
stated it in the email was that they had procured the things for the super cold vaccine.
Good.
So if that's what gets distributed here, at least we know we've got some place for it to be.
Yeah.
I still think it'll be interesting, though, like Todd said, okay, the CDC tells you who qualifies. Now it comes to us. Now, who fits that qualification? I still think that could be a nightmare too.
It could.
I mean, somebody that's a part-time RN says, I need it, that 90-year-old guy don't really need it, you know, or, I mean, how do you determine that?
Right.
Hey,
Morning, Mike.
Did you get a copy of this resolution? Is there anything
One day
else
already.
added? Did you?
Oh,
Highway
yeah, I
50
read it
from
in the
Sylvia
email that
here.
she sent.
It's a sheet of ice.
they didn't go out, did they?
DOT hasn't touched it.
They did from one direction, not the other
They
direction.
didn't brine it, they didn't plow it, it's just a sheet ice.
Yes, it is.
I did 35 and I had both hands on it. God help me.
Yeah. Yeah, I still think there's gonna be a lot of determining at the local level who gets it first if it ever comes out. But we know what category should go first, but now who's on that, in that category? Are all of them two-shot deals, or is there any of them that don't have a booster?
I don't know that for sure right now.
From what I read, the only one that's a two-shot is the one that's coming from Oxford in England. And it's a primer shot. It's a half dose, and then 2 weeks later, a full
I
dose.
think the first two came Pfizer and.
Pfizer and
Moderna, or both.
One time, yeah.
I heard you had to get them both twice, 3 weeks apart, but because they were arguing about how many doses they had, so they said, we gotta cut that in half, because you gotta have 2 shots of it, so, I don't know. But
Well, once it goes through the FDA Safety Committee and then the review board, then we'll know more.
I think that's coming out in a few days. Now, getting it distributed would be a totally different thing.
And who knows where they're gonna,
They'll probably call you and say, hey, you need a -4 your freezer, we're on our way.
I hope not.
They need some planning on that, that's for sure.
I don't think I have anything for the next resolution to change.
Did the guy that you talked to in regards to the effluent discharge at Stafford, did he say, was there anything to be done or just to monitor it?
No, they're gonna come back at the first of the year and do it a second time to see what the levels are then, to see if anything's changed.
And that's something they did on their own, you didn't call them.
I didn't know that they had even done it until I got the result
You
email.
couldn't call them and say, hey, why don't you do that at St. John or do that in Maxwell or whatever.
I don't know what determined their choice in where to do it either. When I first started to read it, I thought it was for the whole county and then realized, no, this is just for Stafford. It's not for, it says City of Stafford for utility name, so
I think it's just a random.
I'm thinking it probably was just a random
Probably won't
choice.
Stafford County and we just said, okay.
Well, and who's to say that maybe, in 2 weeks, the other, they'll hit the buttons that, all right, these towns you need, or these lagoons you need to check.
Mhm.
Well, that's interesting.
So, we're still setting at 100 and, what is it, 77 or something, or
We're over
192.
Yeah.
192?
When did that start, March, February, that count?
From
I mean, that's our total count.
Yeah, that's our
The
total count since
So
we
that's the
started.
active
Yeah.
cases.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And our active's around 40.
Yeah.
41.
Well, if you need any help on the educational part, I think that was good, and I would not know why that wouldn't look great coming from Extension 2, just
Yeah.
saying that they're helping you out. Education, that's what they're supposed to be there for, is education.
Yeah.
I imagine they're probably on lockdown at home again since we got 41 cases.
They can do it from home, whatever. I'd be glad to go tell her if you need, if that would help any,
Okay.
or call her and tell her.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
That's a baby.
Growing like crazy. Don't know what I'm gonna keep him dressed at, he's so big.
Really?
Yeah, he's already grown out of 3-month clothes and he's only 2 months old, so.
Well, that's a good problem, though.
Yeah.
Kind of problems you can deal with those.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with the resolution or the letter to go out to the cities. But I would like to take the, we need to let the me culture mentality go. It's kind of a little snarky.
Which one are you talking about?
The very bottom line.
Okay,
But other than that,
Or you could just say, this is time we must all work together to flatten the curve.
yeah,
Yeah, you can just leave the last sentence in there.
it would be,
Margaret. Not Nita.
it would be interesting to see how this affects the flu season this year with everybody being more hand sanitizing and,
I think it'll drastically.
It's knocked the snot out of it already.
Yeah.
Okay, what about your resolution?
I'm fine with that.
Like I said, what I put in there, I highlighted. I updated the statistics in number 3 with what she put out yesterday. And then number 4, we just have, be respectful and compliant, and a person should wear a face mask when unable to maintain 6-foot distance. And then I put in there about the businesses within the county should require, but, we can't say shall,
Yeah, I mean, it's our recommendation. You
Exactly,
should
that's
do
what we're
this.
doing here.
We're giving them guidance,
Yes.
so.
And then I did define face coverings on the last page. So I left all of the exemptions in there just the same as everybody else is putting in there, the other counties.
I think it looks fine.
Okay, I'll get a hard copy.
I heard this morning though, again, from the CDC, they came out and said these cloth masks, you might as well throw them away. The surgical masks, wear them once, throw them away. Wear an N95, and I brought that up to Shannon yesterday, and she said, oh, we can't do that, we're gonna run them out. They've had 8 months to make N95 masks.
Still can't do it.
They are hard to find.
You can get them, but they got payout for that.
Well, Philip ordered gloves, $23,000 worth of gloves. That's not that many gloves.
But
It's
if people,
ridiculous, the price gouging that's
They
going on
shouldn't
with
allow
this
that,
stuff.
their price gouging.
I know.
Well, then these masks, if you throw them away, I saw some deal with the medical waste that is now accumulating is just,
Look outside Walmart, see how many are out in the parking lot.
Kind of like
Yeah.
the diapers.
Just
They
throw
take
them
them
Oh my
off,
gosh,
throw them
people.
on the ground.
It's
I'm
insane.
done. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
insane.
it's,
I still don't, I don't know if I agree with her on the N95 though, if you can find them on your own. Why not encourage somebody to wear one that actually works?
If you can find them.
If you
Being
can,
the
now,
key.
we're not gonna provide it,
No.
but put wording in there to say, hey, it's, CDC says the N95 mask works the best, if you
Yeah,
can
the
find
masks are
one.
basically for the spit particles coming out of your mouth when you're talking.
That's what that one's for.
Yeah.
That's what all the.
So if you're,
surgeons are.
I mean, I can't hardly read with my glasses. I mean, I can't wear my glasses, so if I'm reading and I'm not talking, I should be able to take off my mask. Because I really don't care if I get it. But if I'm not talking, I'm
You-
just.
What?
you what?
But I mean, so,
Is that cloth or is that,
this is the one Nita gave me, I have no idea.
It's an N9.
it's a
It's
N95.
these
That's-
with
that's a
glasses, if you take just a regular strip Band-Aid and put it over here, you'll have no fogging at all.
N95 fits a lot better there too, you won't have near the, squeeze that thing down and wrap around your
I
nose.
have a hard enough time breathing, I don't pay attention on
If you pinch it
Waiting to suffocate.
Yeah.
if you pinch it around your nose. you're-
I can't tuck my top collar up.
Is Marshall out here?
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
You guys want to go look at that
Do you want
truck?
us to pat, or,
Let me get everything
Got a
printed
snow
off. Let me get all the printing done while you go outside with.
I didn't bring it down here.
Did you bring a picture?
I got a picture and it's sitting outside if you guys wanna go by and look at it, because
All right.
it's out at the fire station.
You can't drive it in the snow?
He doesn't want to get it dirty.
they're doing it again.
Well, no, I'm not concerned about that. there's not a real good place to park it out front right now either.
No,
Unless I
there's
have to park it in the middle of the street.
Do you need a little bit of time to get?
Yes, I do.
Let's drive down there and look at it.
I do. I need time to get mine.
I'm stuck where I'm at now.
Pardon?
On my first stop right where it's at, I think. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll recess.
Oh, yeah. We'll recess for
A while.
15 minutes.
A while.
However long.
Are we on here?
Yes.
Okay. I make a motion that we approve the Stafford County modification to the Kansas Executive Order 20-68.
Resolution number.
Yeah, the resolution 2020-16.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2020-16. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I'll post that resolution on the Facebook page and I'll have Ashley put it on the website. So people will know.
Good.
Do you want,
You want this
that's
signed?
your copy. That's your copy. This is,
Everybody signs
That's
this
the
one?
clean copy
Yes.
right there. Okay. The minutes are laid in between the two.
Let me just pass that. There's the first two pages.
all right, here's your clean copy.
Thank you.
I make a motion that we, but it's just the draft, it's not the minutes. Will we
Did
go
I?
ahead and call it the minutes
I'll
for the
I'll
November?
wipe that out. It's just a note that we didn't meet on November 11th.
So what should I call it?
A non-meeting.
No meeting.
All right, I make a motion that we approve the non-minute, or the minutes for the non-meeting we had on November 11th.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second to approve the minutes from the non-meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Just a notation in the minutes, so 100 years from now, they're gonna
Yes, sir.
know.
Why
Okay,
didn't,
somebody's checking that out, but
Hey, you'd be surprised, people would come in and look at those old minutes.
Can I make these two in one motion?
Well, I would know that it'd be the two.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve the minutes for the November 18th meeting.
second.
we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the November 18th meeting. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes for the November 23rd meeting.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the special meeting on November 23rd. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Okay. Judge Feely sent a couple of letters, you guys have copies of them. I'll let you read them. One of them is, they would like to install a drop box out front. OJA is going to purchase the drop box. I think all we'll be responsible for is obviously securing it, kind of like mine out front. I need to know if you guys have a problem with that, or,
Will there be any mistakes on our voting as far as people
That-
dropping ballots in the wrong box?
that's what I'm concerned about,
Should we put it off to the side
but
where it's not side by side?
I wouldn't put them side by side.
We're gonna put it in different location.
Yeah, because I mean, if somebody does drop a ballot in there, is that gonna be a problem?
As long as I get it, no. And I think the girls upstairs will give it to me.
What if we put it over by the annex?
The court drop box?
Just to get it away.
What will they be using that for?
See, I don't know what, pro se litigants means. It's for, so they can drop off pleadings in the event the courthouse were to be closed for COVID or other reasons. I wish Mike was up here, maybe he could explain that to us.
Or maybe even put it in the side door over there where they go to the sheriff's department.
They want it outside in case the building is closed.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh,
The
put it on
sidewalk
the
going there,
Sheriff's side?
we could pour a little 3-foot square there.
Yeah, between the annex and the
Yeah,
main entrance. I think
Rob,
that-
what is it, do you know what that means? The Voltaire process?
What's that now?
Come here. They want to, the district court wants to put a drop box outside. Do you know what pro se litigants means? I know you. Pleadings. I think OJ has money and they want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
That would be my
Okay, I'll have her. see.
I think it could be.
And the second thing is easily fixed. If they need extra room for jury trials, they can use the annex.
Yep.
As long as I know. So I'll send him a letter back on that. That one was easy.
Oh, the rooms for jury?
He even suggested it in here, maybe they could use that room, which, like I said, if I know ahead of time,
is that any bigger than the courtroom? I mean, they'd be using
they
it
want
for
to be able
social
to space
distancing.
people out.
Yeah.
So,
Of course, if we had the screen up there where people can watch, I mean, because that's the only reason why you go to a crowd, I mean, the crowd is not gonna be able to say anything. So if they had the capability of doing the trial up there and watch it there,
I don't know.
yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay,
They have a screen out in the hallway to watch it live.
yeah, they put TVs out in the hall up there.
But
They could move it over to the annex if you had a real huge screen.
Do we need to make any motions or anything like that?
No, I mean,
On that box, I don't want it to be up front, I want it to
put it
be,
on the north side.
yeah. I'm assuming it's gonna have some kind of writing on it to where, you know, it just won't be a box sitting there, it'll say.
I would assume, kind of like my ballot box says, ballot box.
It makes sense to have it closer to the dispatch area, I think.
In the alley.
I'm sure it's gonna have a camera on it, which we have a camera outside that door,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty.
See, I think you're talking about putting it in the alley, I'm talking about the sidewalk that goes up that the dispatchers use. Or just another little 3-foot square,
Yeah, I don't care.
because that camera would cover that box then.
I was thinking about going a little further east with it, doesn't make any, that's fine, if you want to blow around it, where it's at.
I'd run that by them and see if they're happy with it.
Well, I think they'll be happy with wherever you tell them to go from the sound. They just want to make sure that we can get the slab done and attach the
Secure.
box.
Does this want this before the end of the year?
That's what it says, they would like this done by December 30th, because they have to spend that spark money. So, I'll get back with them on this. I may just call him.
On our ballot box down there, are you guys using that for anything other than that ballots? I mean, if somebody drops their registration payment, can you lock it to where?
It's locked.
Okay.
It has a bar you can put in
There's
there.
Mike, you asked me.
Hey, what does this mean? Pro se litigants?
It means without an attorney. What are you reading?
They want us to put a drop box outside for, I didn't know what pro se.
Say what?
Okay, so maybe, what? What's your thoughts?
Oh, no, that's crap, that's stupid.
You gonna tell Judge Keeley that?
I will.
Okay. Tell him by December 2nd.
Do you want me to respond?
Sure.
I mean, here's the deal, courthouse is a court, it's open to the public. If you're too damn lazy to walk up and hand it to the clerk, I mean, why should we make the clerk go down there every day?
They want
And
this in
check.
case the courthouse is closed for COVID or other reasons.
Well, if that happens, we'll deal with that when it happens.
Okay, you take
But
care of that
until
one.
then,
Okay. Oh,
But-
I'm glad you came in.
but you guys
I
make the call.
I don't care.
Mike, how many people are pro se? I mean,
More than you-
on average, is there quite a few?
More than you think. Most people in criminal cases, because if you're looking at going to jail, you have a right to have an attorney appointed to you.
Yeah.
But you see a number of pro se people with like PFAs, which we deal with a fair amount, and it's kind of actually geared towards pro se people. Divorces, you don't see a whole lot of pro se people in divorces, because, I mean, anymore you can get the forms online and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
the problem with it is if you screw up and you do it wrong, you may still be married and 10 years later figure out, oh crap, I'm really not divorced now.
Yeah.
And it opens up a whole can of worms. So it's primarily PFAs. And Rob, how many PFAs do you think we have in a month?
This will be, and this is the busy time of the year, so I mean, it's nothing to have 3 to 5,
A month.
probably scattered throughout.
So once a week, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but also for people on tickets, whatever, they can just go and set the
Yeah.
covers up themselves and take care of it through that way and just clean it off. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, if you want to plead not guilty and set it for hearing, but that's why we have pre-trials on Mondays. And
Well, I'm thinking they're doing this, is they're needing an excuse to spend
They're trying to
sparse
spend their
money.
money, is what they're trying to do.
657
spark
tons
money
of sand,
they're trying to do.
200
The
tons of
OJA.
dirt.
Well, my opinion is that money comes from somewhere.
I'd always wondered how that was. That's the first
They don't
time I've
just
noticed
print
that.
it up,
They don't?
so,
It can go back.
They're looking for ways to spend
I'm
it.
trying not
Or
to
waste.
send it back.
Yeah.
so,
I kept,
it's up to you
just like
guys.
putting another box
How
out there
much
for
that is in?
dropping mail.
Uh,
Oh, did you write?
6,537
Carter.
tons of sand.
Yes, it went out last Monday,
No response.
nothing so far.
430.
Although, I'm working my way through getting the stack. When you guys called, I was doing the stack of stuff, but I don't think so.
204.
But yeah, that day that we talked, so it'd been last Wednesday,
13 months.
it went out that day. Cause I went downstairs during a break and dictated it over her shoulder.
Let us know if you get a response.
Sure, absolutely.
What is next step if we get absolutely no response?
Then probably send another letter saying, you won't be getting any more checks till the end of the year.
All right. How long should we give them? A couple of weeks? I would think.
Went out last Wednesday, I'd say I'd one more Wednesday, get through the holiday kind of thing.
All right. That, I'm okay with that.
If you wanna maybe put it on the agenda, need to just say status
Check
of
it
or
out next
something,
week.
just so we don't forget and it falls off the table.
Okay.
We're kind of at the end of the year, so although we've approved his budget for next year, correct?
Yes.
But we can still hold till the end of the year.
I need to check with Melissa on that.
The other thought I had, and this is totally off the subject, but now that we've, like the meeting we had yesterday, what if we had this room and this room together as a commissioner's room? And found a different place here, just to, this gets a little tight if you got 10 people.
Yeah, but I think once we get through the coronavirus deal, it's,
Like you think yours, it's no skin off my back, but I've always felt a little claustrophobic when you get 5 or 6 people in here. I think with the annex and stuff, we have plenty of places that we could move this and make a better location for them too, and just open this up.
Where are you gonna refer to? So you gotta have a vault, people
Yeah.
with records.
Come to the sheriff's department, and put the sheriff's department in the annex.
Who's moving out of the annex?
There's nobody on the east side of the annex,
There's not enough room on the east side.
there isn't.
Now with the supply closets, I mean, the supply
That's what
rooms,
we use it, most of it for storage.
yeah, storage area.
I'm thinking we're probably talking, that's the clerk's break room. Well, we're not messing, that's sacred ground.
It's got-
I'm just thinking of a way to get just a
The clerk
little
has a
more
break
room in
room?
here.
But I mean, I'm
Well, we
thinking,
could go.
take this
we could
wall
go
out,
annex.
if we take this wall out and start moving people around the sheriff's department over there, I mean, you're talking a couple $100,000.
I would say you guys just should move to the annex if you want more room.
Yeah.
Well, that might be the easiest one, but
It would be.
I've been in a lot of courthouses and I've never seen one quite this small, if you know.
It used to be this wasn't a problem, nobody
I know,
came.
Yeah.
but we're growing.
I like I mean, I'd hate to do all that just for coronavirus when coronavirus is over. I mean, it's nice and handy to where Nita can run back and forth.
Exactly.
People can run over here. If we're in the annex, it's gonna be,
If it's more handy for clerk, that's why I'm thinking about just expanding the area right where we're at so that you're next door.
I think you'd run into a nightmare trying to move close.
We could,
All right.
we could add on here.
Like that.
yeah, put a deck and top door.
It should, I just got to thinking, after that meeting that night, I'm thinking, is there a way we could have done that and stayed right where we were at? And that's what I thought. That's the only option we have right there is to go that direction.
I really think the annex is probably the best one.
If we wanted to do it.
It's up
But
to
you would,
It's your
it's
meeting.
handier for you here.
And I can remote in, as long as my computer works, I can remote in and get you any information about budgeting or whatever you need. But as far as, making copies or,
That's
it's
kind of a
handy,
pain,
but it's
too.
not impossible over there. I mean, I could get a little copier to put over there, if you're serious about permanently moving over there. Well, yeah,
I'm gonna, it's just food for thought, it's just something that in the future, I think you might wanna consider doing, getting a little more room in here, but, or moving over there. It is kind of a pain when you just think you're gonna meet over here, and then you move over there, and then somebody comes in and says, well, you guys weren't meeting where you said you were gonna be meeting, and
I came here on Monday,
there you
that was
go.
a minute thing.
but
It's
it's not that big of a deal just to walk.
Jim needed more room to walk around when he was talking.
I mean, even if we would move into one of those rooms on the east side
Excuse me,
that Carolyn
doctor,
made,
yeah.
we have more room than in here.
Yeah, doctor.
your guys' decision, I'm not, but I just, while I was in the shower, I thought, wow, I wish we had more room in there. Okay. Anything
What-
else?
on our-
We need to sign this.
I wanna know what kind of engines
I
in
got
that
one to
tender.
sign.
It's got Cummins.
You want me to throw this stuff
What year
away
is
for you?
that? I mean, like 70s?
I didn't even look at the
This
paperwork.
is my
I don't-
trash pile.
I'm
This is
assuming it's
trash.
probably 70s or something like
It's
that.
probably newer than that.
Really?
Yeah.
On these bills, on the emergency preparedness, I see the purchase of the gloves. There's a fit tester respirator.
The health department bought that so she can fit test masks. She said the fire department can use it.
They should have maybe talked to the fire department first,
Well-
because we own one.
Well, I don't know, maybe it's something different.
So you have a fit
We have a
test.
fit test machine.
Yeah,
Maybe it's something different, I don't know. We bought it with spark funding.
so the fire department has access to 2 of them now. Does the health department have like the full face
Yes.
respirator? Okay.
Yeah, we have a fit test machine, because everybody gets fit tested for SCBA's.
Yeah.
Make
I don't
sure
know
they
if
fit right.
this is something different or if it's the same thing. I don't know that world. I don't want to.
Anything else business-wise?
I was just gonna tell you guys, we did get the new rescue equipment Saturday. Maxville picked it up yesterday, so they have their new battery-operated rescue equipment. And we got the pump and the hose reel for the truck and staffer. So we're just waiting on the other.
And where's the rescue equipment for Maxwell, the old stuff going?
As soon as they get their stuff put on their truck, the old stuff's going to Hudson.
The
Because
Hudson.
Hudson stuff is, throughout the year, we had to mix and match, and so it's kind of a little bit of this, a little bit of that, just to keep them up and going, so.
So the stuff that's going, that Hudson's old stuff, what are you guys gonna do with that?
We'll probably keep parts of it around, but some of it's not even worth keeping.
I mean, I didn't know, instead of just letting it go to, I mean, could you sell it, put it on eBay for,
20-year-old stuff, you're not gonna get much out of it.
yeah.
I mean, there's just not a lot of that stuff, and
No, there's no market.
there's no market
Just
for
there
it.
letters.
Nobody else, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Unless somebody wants something for parts and pieces off of one of them.
Anything else business wise? We'll adjourn.